Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. So in this video we will gonna talk about the new formation. Now you saw me done a video a while ago, but now we have way more information and we want to talk about it. We want to start understanding step by step as we get more and more information. And of course we have to thank the people which actually put this data together. We're talking about Mr. Evil from 913 and Bringed from server 851 and Nancy, and of course as always Miami, which also puts and gathers this information together. So before we're gonna start, of course, special thanks also to my supporters and the special members of the channel. You see these people on the screen, guys, thank you very much. And of course the two moderators of my Discord. So that being said, let's put some screenshots on the screen and let's talk about it and let's start to understand and prepare accordingly to this. So as of right now, we have only two formations. We have the assault and fortify formations. And of course, this new system will actually gonna copy your progress. But on top of this, we're gonna have the defense formation, which is the new one. And all these three formations, they're gonna be the formation technology. So in other words, if you look here on this part on the formation tech, you see one is level 3, one is level 12, and one is level 13. That makes a level of 28. So the old items we actually using right now to upgrade the assault and fortify formation will gonna remain the same. We're only gonna get also the defense formation on top, and the defense formation will gonna provide an extra buff for the 9 slots, which are going to increase their health, their defense, and greatly improving their survivability. Upgrading materials required for the formation 101 and formation manual defense. So now let's jump into the second screenshot and try to explain this one. Now this should be no shock for anyone that these items will going to be offered in the shop, but we have to mention at this point that is a positive thing to see that you can get, presumably you can get these items from the island store. Presumably, right from the beginning, right from the moment they are introduced, and we never had that before. If you remember the gear and all the other stuff, they literally brought the update and put those items exclusively on sale, only for us to beg and wait a couple of weeks till we could have got a few of them from the store. So this is a good point right here. So on top of this, we have actually to answer a very important question. So do we actually need to max out the 2 old formation in order to use the shark formation? And this answer is very important. The answer is no, you don't have to. So after the assault and the fortify formation were integrated into this fortification technology we are getting now, their effects are completely different from the formation shark, and there are no prerequisition for using it. So even if the old formation were updated, you can directly learn the formation shark. Now let's jump to a very important screenshot in order to show the new formation and which slots were going to be affected by that. So the first important thing which actually is going to change with the shark formation, you see actually the slots which will going to have all these fancy new toys. And you can see it right here. So they are the slots 1, 2, 3 and slots 5 and slot number 8. So as I said a few minutes ago, these 3 formations will gonna add up in order to give the middle formation the level. So you see they are level 3 plus a level 12 plus a level 11. That makes the level 26. So on top of this, these formations are having a level maximum of 50, which is of course a way too high level. Of course it's made to hold a while, so there's no stress. These updates are never made so you can achieve the maximum level overnight. Even if you buy all the packs and possible, you shouldn't be able to finish this in a long time. So please don't stress it. So there's no point to panic. You can actually stop the video, take a screenshot, or you can look in the video description. I'm going to put the link of the whole post about this shark formation, so you can read it and take your time. There is actually no stress. So let's carry on. So you actually unlock the new mechanism and all the slot attributes. So each time you tier up, you will increase the combat attributes of all the slots and unlock the unique backup slot mechanism. And we have to talk about that in the next screenshot. So now let's go to more juicier information. So of course, yeah, the shack formation, it's a very awesome one. And of course, everybody wants to know what is happening with this backup slot. So of course, this backup slot will be unlocked once you are tier 3, once you are tier 3 in the shark formation. So there is when you have access to this extra slot, and we're gonna have to talk about it. We've talked about it in the previous videos. And of course, we have also the weakness strike, which I already mentioned in the previous videos, and what this skills actually does. But of course, very, very important, of course, is tier number 3. And let's discuss this. So now please pay a bit attention. We are talking about slots 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And now you see on the right side of the screen how this extra slot is going to look like. Of course, the one on the right side, that is yours. The red one is the one from the opponent. And I very highly assume you cannot attack those. Those are just the backup marches. And this will gonna jump into the slots 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, assuming once these slots are really naked, so all the units on those slots are actually killed. So yeah, there are a lot of buffs, so sit down and let's try to figure this one out. So of course, there's one thing on top, some extra buff on top of everything, is when a player is actually using this formation in a rally, then the slots 2, 4, 5, and 6 will gonna get an extra additional damage buff and a damage decrease, which is, yeah, pretty nice. So let's talk about the first sentence right there. So this extra slot, the slot number 10, let's call it that, or the backup slot, actually will not receive the buffs of the heroes in the match, which is kind of a pretty interesting idea. So once, let's say, we see in this picture, we are given an example from slot number 8, has lost all the units, and that's exactly why the backup slot, we're going to jump directly in there. So the backup slot, we're only going to replace this formation you see on the left side. So slots 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. So now let's talk about the buffs which cannot be inherited. So once the units from the backup slot jump on that slot, they will not get the old buffs. So sadly, this is not very clearly explained as they showed us in this screenshot, Navy March, and then they are talking about if the main slots are tanks. So let me explain you a bit better. So we have to be very, very careful what kind of units we actually gonna put on this backup slot. So assuming, let's take this case we see on the screen, the main March is actually Navy. And let's assume you actually put planes there on the backup slot. So on top of this, if your plane units have actually the pulse jammer, if those units will gonna die and they're gonna get replaced by the planes, you may think, yes, I have the jammer back, which actually blocks an attack from a default attack of the opponent. So this will not be inherited. So that means once you lose that, you're gonna lose it. You have no pulse jammer anymore. So the same goes with the encirclement as far as I understood. So in this case, we see there on the screen, let's assume the slot number 8 would have, let's say, a tank. That will imply that you have only one part of the encirclement. And if you would have tanks on the backup slot, which I don't think it's a good idea, and if the tanks were gonna jump on the slot number 8, then you don't get this encirclement back, this buff. So yeah, once you lose it, you lose it. So before we go back on the encirclement and how to potentially use it in the future, of course we have to add this too. I'm very happy they thought about it. So you cannot put a formation of units and then put your heavy trooper in the backup slot so they can jump later on in the battle. So that will not going to be possible, and that's a good thing. So let's try to explain a bit how the encirclement will going to be massively affected by this, and you have to take in consideration how you put your units on which slot you're gonna have to use which kind of unit. So as of right now, we're actually using, if we're keeping this example on the screen, which is a very healthy idea, I'm gonna use on slot number 8 a plane, and on slot number 9 I'm gonna use a tank. But simply because this formation is way different, it's slot 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8, then we have to presumably change the way we actually assign the assignment units. So I may use on slot number 7 a plane, and on slot number 9 I'm gonna use a tank. So now if we read also the buffs which can be actually inherited by the units coming from the backup slot, it's kind of safe for me to say I will not gonna use on the backup slot the encirclement units. So if the march is like we see it on the screen, a Navy march, then I will use Navy units on the backup slot. Simply because you can read it yourself on the screen, all these buffs which are coming from the heroes. And this is a very wise idea because the heroes for this march are presumably heroes which buff exclusively Navy with their skills, with their armor, with their buffs. And there will be very, very stupid idea to actually use an encirclement unit there. So a unit which is not buffed by the heroes in the march. So yeah, guys, that being said, that is what we have right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, don't forget to check the description in this link, in which I'm going to put the link from Miami's Discord. And you can find exactly this information, and you can read it and take your time and read it. And yeah, as always, if you have questions and if I missed anything, please leave it in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next episode.